Go ahead, Mike. Get on off your chest. What the hell did we just see here?
A fucking jackass. A jackass. An absolute jackass, an arrogant prick. I'm really disgusted and disgraced for you to be sitting on that fucking sideline, not making not one freaking change. Now, I saw from the very beginning, the first drive, played the exact same formations, the exact same coverage from beginning to end with absolutely no changes. None. Even when you blitz and you got your cover guys 5, 10, 7 yards off. What's the point? What's the point of every play? You're gonna play. You're gonna have 5, 6, 7 guys close to the line of scrimmage, but everybody else is gonna be 15 yards off. I don't know how many times, I stated this from the very beginning. Sean Payton is a offensive coordinator. If you give him 5, 10 yards, he's gonna take that all damn day. He's not gonna push it. He's not gonna do nothing dumb. He's gonna check it down, and they're gonna get into a rhythm, and he's gonna do that all game long. And this is exactly what. And this stupid jackass, every freaking play, nothing changed until like the fourth fucking quarter, and then you want to start sending the house and bringing guys close.
I'm just gonna be honest, man. This for the second week in a row, they took an opponent for granted. At this time, we paid for it big time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy as hell that the only bright spot we saw today was Younghoe Koo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only bright spot we saw was Younghoe Koo today. That's crazy. Like this, like you said, this is what happens when you don't take shit seriously. Yeah. This is the second week in a row that we done took an opponent for granted. And you took and you played against an offensive team that's really not that good offensively, number wise. They look like y'all. I think this was the invasion of the body snatchers that happened today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the more disappointing part about this game is the fact that it was no sense of urgency from the get-go. It wasn't no, okay, we need this game. I mean, the team showed up in Denver literally the day before the game. That should have told us everything we needed to know right there.
I don't even think it was a day. I think what the day is?
It's Sunday.
Yeah, it was like 6 o'clock yesterday. So barely a day.
So they took Denver for granted.
Broncos saying, "I'm sorry, Falcons lost. I thought he was gonna move for a third time in a row. We get it." Hey man, good game. I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised the Broncos played well because this is something that we've stated all year long. That's just Raheem is not doing anything defensively. He's not doing anything. He's not making any adjustments. He's going with the scheme. If that scheme doesn't work, and maybe he's be forfeit, but he doesn't make any adjustments defensively.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying any adjustments at all. Not to the
Right.
front, not to the front four, not to the front seven, not to the secondary. The secondary doing the exact same thing they've done all year. Play off.
What's up, Jew, man? What you got on this game, man?
What's up, fellas? Man, hey, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna start with this. Before the game came on, I had a headache all day, and this game didn't make that headache any better. To be honest with you guys, um, y'all basically hit the nail on the head. It's not rocket science. We've been talking about it all year long. We've been playing that off coverage. We've been playing soft. Not allowing these guys to be aggressive. We talked about this during the heavy hitter show. I talked about this doing what's the word? The Broncos, they're doing everything that we should be doing. Their coaching staff in this game, how many times do we see tunnel screens go for touchdowns, go for 10 yards of pop? The reason
Mm-hmm.
that tunnel screens are going for touchdowns is because you're lined up 10 yards off. So once that guy catch the ball, you got offensive linemen coming downhill. And because of the rule
Mm-hmm.
changes, I literally was having this conversation watching the 1 o'clock games after church with my brother-in-law. I said, now that as a corner, because you can't cut those big guys that's coming downhill on those screens, it
Yeah.
makes it that much harder to be a DB. And because we're playing off, we make those tunnel screens easy to go for touchdowns. When you got those big 300 pounders running at AJ Terrell, running at these guys that's 10 yards off. The problem with that is, I don't know if you guys seen it later in the game when they were playing press coverage where Natron Brooks almost intercepts the pass because he's like right there in the flat, and
Yeah.
he almost intercepts the tunnel screen. If you let these guys play up on the ball, we're making those tunnel screens way too easy. We're giving teams 10 yards every time. We're giving teams explosive plays. And if you look at what happened early in the game, the reason I said that Coach Sean Payton did everything that we're asking our coaching staff to do is they basically kept going to what was working. They didn't stop going tunnel screens.
At
He kept
all.
same bubble screens. If you're gonna give me 10 yards of play and you're gonna continue to give us all of these consistently, all of these explosive plays, we're gonna take what the defense gives us. At one
Mm-hmm.
point, Bo Nix was like at halftime 17 of 19 with like 197 yards passing. When you got a quarterback that's basically perfect as far as completions, that means that you're making these completions way too easy. What it's telling me is that we're not making adjustments, which I've been stating, we've all been stating since the first couple games. And what it's leading to is the teams then caught up to us. Because guess what? They got
Exactly.
10 weeks worth of film to look at. They see that you're not making no adjustments. So every week for the opposing offense, it's a copycat league. They're doing the exact same thing on the opposing side. If you're not going to adjust, guess what we're going to see after the bye against the San Diego Chargers? They're going to come out and throw bubble screens. They're going to come out and throw the ball underneath. They're not going to take risks and throw the ball deep when there's no point. Why would I throw the ball deep when you're giving me 10 yards or you're giving me 8 yards every single time? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going if you're not going to adjust, I'm not going to adjust. And that's basically what we're seeing. So I'm not going to allow this game to get my blood pressure up. Like I said, I had a headache going into the game, took some Tylenol before the game came on, and it just got worse because it's just like what we're watching, this is an embarrassment. To be honest, this is embarrassing. For you to be in the fourth quarter and it's like 9 minutes in the game left and you putting guys in for mop-up duty, that's embarrassing. We might as well not even played our starters. Let's be real. 38-6. Why even play all of these guys? We played Mooney. He was injured all week long. We played him just to get blown out. And now in the fourth quarter, you want to bring all these other guys in. Like, no, I would have left the starters out there. You started this game, we're gonna finish this game. Guys getting injured or not, that's a part of the game of football. Like to me, it almost felt like we kind of laid down. I understand we're trying to be smart, but I didn't like how we kind of gave up in the fourth quarter, like 9 minutes left. Okay, let's just throw these guys out there for mop up because the game is over. It's almost like why, if you were going to lay down this way, why even play the starters at all in this game? Because it looked like we kind of laid down. I didn't like that.
It
All
needs a
right.
day in, y'all. But I've been saying is his philosophy. He has not changed his philosophy since Dan Quinn
All
because
right.
that's what he's had the most success with.
All right, let me go ahead and throw some numbers in here right quick. Total yards, Broncos outgained us 400 to 226. 295 passing yards to our 176. The 105 rushing yards to our 50. They had 23 first downs to our 13. Total plays 60 to 56. Time of possession was pretty much equal. Allowed 4 sacks. So when you're looking at these numbers like this, time of possession pretty much 30 for 30 and 30, and a 4 play differential, that's letting you know that offensively we didn't get off on nothing. Defensively, we was giving up too much yak yardage.
Way too much. You're making it easy. I mean, you just said it. Look, we got to stop pointing the finger. This is not Jimmy Lake's defense. Okay? I know you somebody want to point the finger at somebody, but this is Dan Quinn's defense. He's had the most success with Dan Quinn's defense. And he took that philosophy to the Rams. So he thought it was working.
Say it again. Whose defense is this? This is not Jimmy Lake's defense. Who defense is
This
this?
Jimmy Lake's defense. This is Dan Quinn's defense. He's had the most success with Dan Quinn's defense. He took this defense to LA.
And what did I say? And what did I say in week 3, Mike, about Dan Quinn's defense and about the Rams? This ain't the Rams.
This ain't the Rams. We don't have the guys up. We don't have the guy. For one, I keep telling people, in order to make the cover 3 work, you have to have a good 3 tech that can get immediate pressure. We don't have that right now. Grady Jarrett is not. He's not Aaron Donald. I love Grady, but he ain't Aaron Donald. You got to have an interior pass rush in order to make a soft coverage work. It don't matter if you have good edge guys in the cover 3 because you're giving these guys too much time.
We don't got Von Miller on this team that's going to win within 3 seconds and get off the block and get there. So when you can't get there, you got to bring guys.
Mm-hmm.
Have those front 4. When you looked at Seattle, what made Seattle special? They had particular style players that they could run that defense.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have those all-star, blue chip type players. You can't play that defense. We're talking about guys like Jalen Ramsey. We're talking about guys like Aaron Donald, who's a Hall of Famer.
Aaron Donald, Eric Weddle, Josh Johnson, Leonard Floyd,
Ashawn
Robinson, Michael Brockers.
Those guys that can get immediate pressure. You notice all those guys are defensive tackles. This is why we brought in Rook. This is why we brought in Brandon Dooley. Those guys are supposed to be there. But for whatever reason, he's not playing these guys. And this is why I say I go back to the arrogance. He's an arrogant prick right now. He's doing exactly what you were talking about with Arthur Smith. You see the problem, but you're so focused on your plan and your scheme that you're not making the necessary adjustments in game. The Falcons defense quit today. Okay? They quit.
Which I think the whole team quit.
I believe, yes. And look, bro, I've been saying this, and this is, again, I said this earlier. This is not me saying that he needs to be fired, but I don't want to hear no more rah-rah stories. To hell with all your rah-rahs. Look, all that persistence, bull crap, and stats of losers, I don't care. I don't care about none of that no more. Okay? We don't heard it from Mike Smith. We done heard it from Dan Quinn, and now we hearing it for this dude. I don't care nothing about your how arrogant you are in press conference, and you don't play, and everybody's smiling, and he's fun to be. I don't care nothing about that. Show me that you can make the necessary adjustments during the game. I don't want to hear nothing about your assistance or the problem. You shouldn't be the problem if you're the head coach, and if you're the problem, you need to be gone. Period. You think a guy like Bill Belichick is gonna sit back and watch his defense make the same mistakes over and over and over again? Hell no. And that's the problem. They play off coverage. They've been playing off coverage since week 1. Okay? And the Jew has been talking about this. We've been talking about this. They're giving up touchdowns in 3rd and 12. Why? Because you stated it. It's because you're giving these offensive linemen and these players a full steam ahead. You're giving these guys opportunity to get up to full speed within a few seconds. And once those big offensive linemen get on them, those guys in the secondary, look, you done, bro.
They gave up 2 touchdowns in the red zone with the same exact coverage, with the same exact screenplay.
They was crushing us with that screenplay. I said, if I see one more bubble screen, I thought I was watching Oregon play back in the day.
Yeah.
If I see one more doggone bubble screen and AJ Terrell lined up at the marker instead of being up on the ball where he can actually do something and make a play, I can't get mad at AJ Terrell when he got a 300+ pounder coming at him with a full head of steam. What are he supposed to do? And he can't cut him low. What is he going to do?
Bro, I'm about the same size as AJ Terrell. Trust me, having a guy, big ant size, Chauncey size, running at me full steam, bruh, that ain't nothing. that ain't something nice, bruh. That's not cool. You gonna think twice about that. A 6'4", 300-pound dude running at you full speed, and you just gonna stand there? Nah, that's a problem.
Especially when they already got a full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a penalty because in that play, I'm cutting. I don't care what they say. What the rule is.
Exactly. But like you said, man, at the end of the day, man, what we saw from this game, man, is we got caught up in our own hype and we haven't adjusted to it.
None.
Because like you said, once again, this has been the theme, and this is the theme that Mike's talked about. This is a theme that Jews talked about. Is starting these games off super slow. Offensively starting slow. Defensively starting like shit. Hell, that first touchdown they gave up. Why are they playing cover 6 when they got 10 yards to the goal line? Why are we playing cover 6?
Everybody on the back of the pylon. Everybody.
The line, but Nate Landman and Caden Ellis was sitting there on the letters in the end zone.
And if I see him put dang on Judon in the middle of the field one more time, if I see him put Lorenzo Carter standing in the middle of the field, what are they gonna do standing in the middle of the field flat-footed? Nothing. We keep saying that. You heard John Abraham talked about it. Why linebackers, we have a bad linebacker play. They're getting caught flat-footed. Well, they're getting caught flat-footed because they're playing so much zone. Every time it seemed like we blitzed today and brought pressure, something positive happened. Did y'all notice that? Every single time I seen us bring pressure, it was either incomplete pass, you got pressure. So why don't you go back to that? Every time we did it, they did it occasionally. Maybe 5% of the time in this game, they actually sent pressure and they actually created a negative play. It wasn't a big explosive play. But for whatever reason, we go right back to stand 8 yards to 10 yards off the ball.
And they went right back to it.
Yes.
They had a couple of big plays. They had a couple of negative plays on blitz, and in the very next play, you go right back playing soft.
And I told you guys on what's the word. When you do that, you give your offense, make them play perfect. You seen after that what happened with Kirk Cousins? The offense started to press. Zach Robinson stopped running the ball and started get the pass happen. Why? Because now you're behind the 8 ball. So now those guys start to press, and then that forces turnovers. That's why Kirk threw that pick. Guys started to press.
That was a horrible ball, boy. Like you said, You like I said, I already knew as soon as I saw that. Yeah, he trying to force that. He tried to force that on Drake. He tried
Yeah,
to force it. That's just like what Juan said. He started playing hero ball.
that's it. You start to press. When you see, oh man, my defense can't even stop nobody. You start pressing. I gotta score every time I touch the ball. So now instead of we doing what we do best, now we gotta become one dimensional and pass the ball. Everything that I say should be our game plan. The teams are using in reverse against us. I literally said last week, get ahead, get a lead, and force them to be one dimensional. And we were in that position.
Be- Because here's the issue though. On that second drive, once again, you had two big plays that get called back on penalties.
Yeah.
Negative plays.
Negative plays.
Okay,
And
what did
like
I
you
say
said,
about not scoring touchdowns? That came back to bite us in the tail. When we didn't
hmm
score on that drive, we got pushed back. We kicked the field goal. They drove right back down and scored another touchdown, put you down 14-3. So you still in a hole because you're not getting any stops, and the other team is constantly draining the clock because our defense is just sitting on the field. I don't think they punted in the first half. They were running up and down the field, up and down the field. Up. I'm like, bruh, to me in the first half, I'm like, we don't make adjustments, this game is over because yes, our offense can put up points, but once they up 21-3, it don't matter if you match them point for point. They ahead. You're gonna have to get a turnover or a stop.
yeah.
I don't know if we got this one out. But he said the Falcons name quick to crown this team as a great team. This team average. I don't think this is an average team. I think we still have the capability of making a playoff run. But the thing is, it's just bad coaching. Bad you can, like no matter how much talent that you have, you can't overcome bad coaching. Bad coaching is gonna screw that up every time, and it's the arrogance.
The
Like
greatest adversary for any team is them making mistakes, costing themselves games.
mhm.
The
we have
term the term the term the term is you can either be your greatest you could be yourself could be your greatest ally or you could be your greatest enemy. And today the Falcons were their greatest enemy.
mhm. So thank you for the $5 chat, GD. Appreciate that.
Pretty sure that but and the bad part and the crazy part about it is now you got the bye week is next week, so you got to eat this for a whole nother week.
Mm-hmm.
You
What, a
got to
week and a half or so of this?
another week. You got to eat this for a whole nother week and a half. And for the second straight blowout or ass whooping you took, you threw in Junebug. So now you got to hear that. You know that story is going to be buzzing here in the whole off week, whole bye week.
Fred Buzz with a $2 super chat. Kurt is a turnover machine and can't move. I mean, this is not a bad. For one, this doesn't matter. This right here doesn't matter. Why? It's because when you're getting penalties and you're putting yourself behind the eight
Mhm.
ball, like you're not helping your quarterback. The job of an offensive coordinator isn't to call perfect plays. I keep telling everybody this. That's not his job. It ain't too many plays that you're gonna call that's gonna fool guys. All right, you can't make up some elaborate passing scheme or some crazy. Everything in the NFL has been done and everything has been seen. The problem is with the Atlanta Falcons and a lot of offensive coordinators, they think that they have the best players. So they call stuff because they believe this person is going to make the play instead of going and getting these guys into a rhythm, going with what's working. If the running game is working, you run the ball. If the passing game is working, you pass the ball. What we're doing, we're playing arrogant ball. We think because we got Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson and Julio Jones and Matt Ryan that we can just go out there and put up 300 on anybody and we're going to score 30 points. And oftentimes it doesn't work that way. And then we get ourselves behind the eight ball, like you said, and now we got to play hero ball and pass the ball 50 times. It's because you came in with an arrogant game plan and not respecting your opponent. And this is exactly what happened.
And now we in trouble, fellas, because the defense don't pick it up in the second half of the season. We in trouble because now people the teams then caught on to okay, they soft on defense or they can't get a stop. So now
But
what's their game plan? Let's get to a lead and force them to pass the ball consistently. Let's take the balance away from that offense and we can kind of stymie what they do. Yes, Kirk Cousins can throw for 500 yards. Yes, he can do it. But if you take Bijan out the equation, you take Tyler Algier out of the equation because of the clock. Once you got that lead, guess what they're gonna do? Run the ball, which we haven't been able to stop that. So if they can run, once they get that lead and they can run the ball and they can let their guys tee off on Kirk Cousins, that's the reason why Kirk Cousins is a turnover machine right now, because he's pressing. But the reason he's pressing is because what I always say, when you try to do somebody else's job, you're gonna start. You're going to overcompensate. And that's what the offense is doing. Instead of the offense is going out there, running a balanced offense because they know that the defense can't stop anybody, we're seeing Matt Ryan all over again. When Matt Ryan put up 300 yards, everybody would say, well, the Falcons should have put up 40 points and won this game. Every time we played a team, the other team will always be in the game because guess what? You're a one-sided team. There's no balance to the team. Right now, this Falcons team is offensive heavy. The defense is not carrying their weight right now. And it's not really that the defense can't, it's the coaching. The adjustments are not being made. They're not allowing these guys to be aggressive. Let's just go ahead and accept it. These linebackers can't cover. So when I had a linebacker that can't cover, Mike, what I'm going to tell him to do if he can't cover?
goddamn, you get back, attack the line of scrimmage and make sure you get to the damn quarterback.
That's it. Don't try to cover nobody. The Saints don't use they linebackers to cover because they can't. Guess what they tell them to do? Go get the quarterback.
Go get the quarterback.
That's it.
How many touchdowns have we had today where we saw Caden Ellis and covered?
All of them.
All game. They can't
all
cover.
Game.
Landman can't cover. Caden Ellis can't cover. It's no disrespect to say that's just they're not coverage linebackers. So why are we asking them to do their weakness? That's dumb. That's called
Caden Ellis is an edge rusher.
Exactly.
He's an edge
rusher. All of these guys. That's why I say, why are you been dropping these guys back? Let them do what they do best. Be aggressive. If I get burnt, I get burnt. I literally sat there and watched the Thursday night game where I saw some of the clips from Thursday night's game where they're like, when none of those Commanders receivers were open. They were open, but guess what? If I get to the quarterback in 3 seconds,
it don't matter.
Open.
It don't matter. I'm forcing you to make a stupid throw.
Exactly. That's our problem. We need to stop trying to say, well, we're going to just cover everybody. No, since we know our guys can't cover, go get the quarterback. Go hunt the line of scrimmage. Don't try to cover.
My thing, like you said, this is why I say this is why my thing is I would be more better off them playing that 3 safety look. And like you said, if the linebackers can't motherfucking cover, you got a rover safety in there, but linebackers go get the damn quarterback.
We done had linebackers that couldn't cover. Curtis Austin couldn't cover. But guess what? He couldn't cover. He wasn't good at coverage. We done had a lot of linebackers that couldn't cover a lick, but we didn't ask them to do that. Don't ask them to do something that's their weakness, or don't consistently ask them to do that. It's gonna be times you get caught in coverage. But if you saying like the scheme that we're running, and this is why I said when you guys were live on the originators, Kate and Mike, I said if you're gonna run Dan Quinn's defense, run it right. What did Dan Quinn have when he was our coach at the linebacker position? Linebackers that could cover. He had Deion Jones. He had athletic linebackers, light linebackers, because guess what? I want them to be covering all day, 90% of the time. But if you want somebody that's going to be covering 90% of the time, he better be dang near a corner or a safety. That was basically what Deion Jones was. He could tackle. He was a lighter, side-to-side linebacker.
Like you said, Deion Jones and Foyer.
Yeah, exactly. Coverage linebacker. If you look
both
at
of those guys, Foyer was a safety before they converted him into a linebacker.
Exactly. So, like you said, if you're gonna run Dan Quinn's defense, do it right. Don't come out here with these guys that got cement in they cleats and then tell them you're gonna cover 90% of the game, because that's you're gonna get exactly what you seen today, 38-6.
This man said cement in they britches.
That's why I keep telling everybody again. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say this. He's Dan Quinn Jr. Okay, everything about Raheem is Dan Quinn. Everything, his coaching style, his personality, everybody loves him. He's a player's coach. He's a good coach. But the problem is he's egotistical. He's very egotistical. That's what got right. That's what got right. That's what got Dan Quinn fired. His ego. But Dan Quinn understood after he got fired that, you know what, maybe I need to, make some blitzes and, and play a little bit man. And you know this, his wife was a Cowboys fan, so he watched a lot of Cowboy games. He started to blitz.
Yep.
He started to apply more pressure, apply more man. We're not seeing enough man, and we're not seeing enough blitz. This league is way too advanced to be sitting up here playing that same soft zone. These guys are way too athletically gifted these days.
Yep.
We counted on the pro to drop a pass in the flat. Stop it. These guys ain't gonna drop no pass in the flat. Cordell Hodge don't drop passes in the flat. He like our 5th, 6th receiver. He make catches. So what you think these number 1, number 2 wide receivers gonna do? Number 1 running, but they not dropping these passes in the flat. So stop it. Get up in these dudes' face. If you get burnt, live with it. Because my thing is this: what you're doing right now is not working. So do something different. It's different if we were playing soft zone and it was working, but it's not. So guess what? You're getting burned anyway. You're losing anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. So what you scared of?
Look at it. Look at this right here. DP stayed blitzing.
Bruh.
DP's had absolute shit.
That's all Todd Bowles do is blitz. In the bucket.
If you lose by the blitz, you die by the blitz. You win, you lose. How
You said you win by blitzing, you lose by blitzing.
you die by the gun. That's where it need to be. Period.
We down by the soft zone, so we might as well play something different.
So my question is offensively. And I know we spend a lot of time on the defense, but we definitely have to talk about the offensive side of the ball. What like you said, do you think that this comes to the same thing too about the arrogance?
Yep. It goes back to what we said. I really feel like K-Styles right now, the defense is affecting the whole team right now. And it's not to put blame on the defense. The problem is they're forcing the offense. Like you heard them say, the offense had no rhythm. They're forcing the offense to be one-dimensional. And if you can make any team one-dimensional, you got them right where you want them. I don't care who you are, who you playing against. You can go back to those Peyton Manning teams with the Colts, where they were putting up 30 points a game, 40 points a game, but they can never beat New England. Why not? Because New England would force them to be one-sided. And then what that means? The more you throw the ball, the chances of you throwing an interception are higher. That's why Kirk Cousins in these games that we losing, like when we getting blown out, Kirk Cousins in them games that we be winning, you don't see him throwing interceptions. He's throwing interceptions because he's pressing. So I really feel like it's arrogance. It's that they're taking balance away from this offense. And that's this offense is not air raid. It got to be balanced. There got to be a balance.
So basically what you're saying is the defense is not holding its weight up, so it's forcing the offense to have to be perfect.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like you putting one weight on one side of your body. Try to go lift a weight with one arm. Go try to bench press with one arm and see what happens. That's what's happening. It's like almost like a seesaw. They're trying to overcompensate. And if you try to overcompensate like that, you're gonna get injured. That's what's happening. The offense is pressing so much because we gotta be perfect. That Cousins is now he's throwing interceptions because now he's seeing things that's not open. Because that play on Drake London, if you've seen Drake London, he was open for a second, but it was still like that would be a pass that Cousins would never make in a game that you win it. Because it's like, I don't have to do that. I can throw it away. But right now he feels like I can't throw anything away. He's trying to force a play. He's playing hero ball, like we said. He feel like I can't throw it away. I gotta make a play because we're losing. We down 24-3. I can't afford to throw a ball away. When usually Kurt say, I'm gonna let it fight another down. He throwing that ball in harm's way or saying, I'm gonna just throw it up and give my guy a chance. If I throw it away, we already down. It's third down. I can't afford to throw it away. Even though it's third and long, he's still trying to squeeze it in there.
Lord. And that's the thing too, offensively. And that's kind of like one of the things that I always mention as well is the untimely penalties, those mental mistakes, the unnecessary holding calls on big plays and stuff like that. So what you're doing is by having those negative plays, negating big plays, you're taking the confidence out of your offense and you're taking the rhythm out of it. And like you said, you're potentially taking points off the board, but the problem is defense ain't stopping nobody from scoring.
Yeah,
At all.
So
and
right now,
out of the gate, coming out of the gate, the offense know they have to score because the chances are the defense is gonna give up a touchdown.
Lord have mercy.
I
Jesus.
think it's been like 5 straight games where the Falcons have given up a 7 points on the opening drive. They're not stopping anybody in the beat.
So the identity. So right now, like you said, so pretty much it's not really an identity crisis. The problem is the identity. The identity has to change.
Mm-hmm.
We can't come out these games thinking that we the shit and trying to rope a dope folks. We thinking, okay, I'm just gonna give this up. Okay, yeah, we gonna give you the handicap. Boom. Nah, because this is the exact conversation I did not want to have if we lost this game. And the thing about it too is it ain't even that we lost the game. It's not even the fact that we took an L. It's the way we took an L today is the most frustrating part.
It's the same thing. It's like I said, it's like the 4th or 5th game in a row where we done exactly this.
Mm-hmm.
The same way. That's a problem.
Now, if you was playing your best game against Denver and then they just came down and okay, they scored on the last play of the game or to kick the field goal the last minute, I'll still be disappointed about the loss. But like you said, you gave everything you had right there. You fought back. This was just one of those things where we just bent over and got ramrodded with no Vaseline.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like, even though I hate the way that it happened, I'm glad that it did happen, Kay, because now, as Mike and you've been stating all in this whole post game show, is now they have to go back to the look themselves in the mirror and say we're not that good. Our offense is not that good to cover up our blemishes on defense. Wake up. Your defense gonna have to carry some of the weight. You can't just say we're gonna play 8 yards off, because you do. Guess what? I said again. Guess what the Chargers are gonna do in 2 weeks? They're gonna watch this tape, and trust me, Jim Harbaugh is all about the
Oh
trenches.
yeah.
Go watch Michigan's football.
Mm-hmm.
If you play
Mm-hmm.
off, they're going to run the ball. I'm telling you that right now. They're going to throw
Right.
screen pass. They're going to be physical. So if you
Right.
thought that this game did something, you might get 50 put on you, because Herbert is way better than Bo Nix. I'm being honest with you. We thought Bo Nix was doing something, throwing them little screen passes. Herbert is a much
Herbert gonna take those chances. He's gonna take chances. And Southside here said there were literally clips where we have Simmons lined up 20 yards off on third downs in this game.
Yeah. That's my frustration.
for no reason.
No aggressive.
No reason.
Because you ain't stopping nothing. Like I can understand, like I said, I understand if you were doing this stuff and it's like, okay, it worked, but it's not working. So you got to do something different. And that's why I say this bye week is coming at the perfect time because you get slaughtered. Now you go back. You don't burn this tape. Like, you know how I say you go burn the tape? No. We not
No,
watching this. We going to
no,
watch this tomorrow.
no,
Ain't no
no,
burning.
no. We finna tie every last one of these players down. Y'all, we cutting eyelids off. Y'all gonna watch every single second of this tape and figure and find out what went wrong and who else got the balls the damn turn this shit around.
And it's time for these players to speak up. Mike talked about Grady and all of these guys. It's
Uh-huh.
rising a player's coach, right? But he's so much of a player's coach. These guys, Judon, the leaders on this team, Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates actually played hard in this game. He actually still made plays. That one play where they gave him that catch, talking about it was a fumble. No, that was not. That was an incomplete
That
pass.
was clear.
Let's
Yeah.
stop.
That was incomplete. That was incomplete. That was some BS right there. I saw that.
He made 2 plays in a row on 3rd down and 4th down. So Jesse Bates played his tail off, but Jesse Bates
Close
need to go
to
to
the
the coaches and
line
say,
too.
this is not working. Him and Grady, they need to go in Raheem Moore's office, corner him, and say, what we doing ain't working. So you need to make some adjustments. Whoever's making these calls, whether it's Jimmy Lake, they need to go into the office and say, look, the leaders on this team need to step up and say, this ain't working. This game plan ain't gonna work. It's scrap it. Let us put it together. This is what we need
Exactly.
to be doing because they know how to win. Jesse Bates been to a Super Bowl with the Bengals. Grady done been to a Super Bowl with the previous Falcons team in 2016. So they clearly see that this stuff ain't working. So because they know it ain't working, some of the other guys can't pull rank like that. But Jesse Bates, Grady, those guys, they can go to Raheem Morris and say, "Look, this ain't working, bro. I understand you know your ego and all of that, but you got to put that to the side. You seen what just happened to us out there on the field, and half of the issue is you. Let's just be honest. This ain't working. So sometimes the players got to speak up and take the bull by the horns and say, look, I understand, Rod, this is what you comfortable with, but this don't fit the players that you have on this team. You're gonna have to make the adjustments, whether that's taking one of those linebackers off the field and putting Richie in there. Whatever's best for the team, they got to speak up and tell Rod, this ain't working. We got to change.
And the thing that's on me that I think is bullshit is that when he say I'm even kill even when we losing. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want even kill coaches. My coaches don't care if he stand on the sideline with a straight face when you getting your head smashed in. Okay? I want my coach to even smile when we blowing somebody behind out. All this I'm even kill shit. Like, look, say that shit for somebody who cares. Cause I don't give a damn about none of that even kill bullshit when you getting your face smashed in. All right, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. I don't want to hear nothing about your persistence. I need to see it. I need to see persistence. I need to see change. And right now we're not seeing anything. There's literally nothing about this defense that's different from what Dan Quinn was doing. Nothing.
The worst part about it is the worst part about it is you actually have better players.
You got better players and we doing the same thing.
Better players, but they're worse. But this is where it goes back to. You can have better players, but if they don't fit, are they really better players? Continuity plays a big part in a lot of this stuff.
Our linebackers are way too big and way too I don't even think they have the IQ to be able to play the coverage that we need to play. That's for one thing. I don't think it's a matter of these guys aren't smart enough, but some people IQ in the run versus the pass are completely different. And I think these guys are smarter players when they're playing in the run. This is what I saw a couple of times where, and this is what frustrated me. I saw a couple of times these guys came up to the line And before this man even had the opportunity to step back and hike the ball, you got Caden Ellis and Nate Landman. They already 5 yards before the ball even, and they still completed the ball, and he still completed it.
You
They
got
ran to the spot, and it ran to the spot before he even got the ball, and they still completed the ball.
you got Caden Ellis guarding slot receivers.
Like, what
Good
are
luck.
we doing? This like I said, this ain't got nothing to do with the player. This is arrogance and ego. You are reluctant to change it.
It's
So this man, I'm gonna say this, and I kind of put it out there, but it just seems like for whatever reason, man, he brought. I'm seeing a trend with a lot of coaches now, Kill and Jude, is that a lot of these coaches they bring in a lot of offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators they can control. They don't want guys that come in that can tell them no. Because you brought in Zach Robinson, you brought in Jimmy Lake. Both of those guys won't tell you no. Why? Because they just look. They want an opportunity. They looking for an opportunity. You see what happened with your boy Mike Tomlin? He brought in a veteran guy.
Mm.
Like Arthur Smith is a pretty damn good offensive coordinator. Head coach probably not, but like he's known, and he letting this man do what he want to do. But like that's what good coaches do. They know how to bring in guys that know how to run things. And right now, it just seems like that same. It seemed like the exact same thing with Dan Quinn when he fired Richard Smith, got rid of
Marquand Manuel.
no Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Marquand Manuel was a yes man, but like they like those are the fall guys. You bring in a bunch of fall guys so you can experiment. That was the reason why. At the end of the day, man, we need guys that's gonna be able to go at these coaches. We can't allow these coaches to keep experimenting and doing the same things over and over again, and nothing is changing. Somebody got to step up. I haven't seen not one player step up and say, "All right, man, enough of this shit. We need to do something as a player." Judon was doing that in the beginning, but I don't know what happened.
Yep. Like I said, somebody got to step up and make and say that this ain't working. That's what this bye week need to all about. They need to have a kumbaya meeting, and somebody need to get fired up in this joint and say, "Look, this ain't working, coach. I'm sorry. I know this your scheme, but you don't have the players to run your scheme. Let us run our.
Yep.
Your scheme don't work for these players we have." It puts me back in the amount of 2015 when we had Paul Warlow playing linebacker. The Falcons
Yeah.
jumped up a 5-0 start, and then we kept doing the same thing over and over again, and teams
And they
caught up
called
to
it.
it.
Yep.
It's the same thing happening right now. Teams know what we finna do and they ready for it. So if you don't adjust, you're gonna pay the price. That's what we doing right now. The teams that caught up. I don't care how good your offense is. It has to be a balance. At the end of the day, it has to be balanced. This right now, this Falcons team could beat anybody and we can lose to anybody the way that we playing. That Saints game was a wake-up call because the Saints are not a good team.
Oh shit. Excuse me. Oh man, I ain't got any. I ain't got anything else to say about this, man. Shoot, I got any final words? I got.
My final words is this: make the proper changes or else. We seen what happened with Arthur Smith. Y'all know what ticked me off with Arthur Smith doing the same stuff over and over again, being stubborn, not trying to take accountability. As I seen somebody say in the chat that nobody wants to take accountability. We gotta eat this one. I want to hear Raheem Morris. I didn't hear what he said after the game, but I want him to take the blame. I'm not pointing the finger at nobody but the head man of this team, and that's Raheem Morris. This is your coaching staff. So at the end of the day, if this
Mhm.
was emulate calling these plays, at some point you got to take the bull by the horns. What did we say in 2016 after the Super Bowl? Yes, Kyle Shanahan was an offensive play caller, but why didn't Dan Quinn step in and say run the ball? This your team. I'm gonna say this last thing and then I'm gonna be done. Did you guys notice on one of those drives? It was later in the game. They called timeout on third down, and the defense was on the sideline. Did y'all see Sean Payton talking to them and talking him and Vance Joseph talking back and forth? They put the camera on him, and he was basically they were having it out, talking to each other. He was talking to the defense, but he was telling the defense, "This is what I want right here." Sean Payton was like, "This is what I want. I don't care what Vance Joseph talking about. This is my team." Yes, he's on my coaching staff, but he kind of like pulled rank and was like, look, they were going at it, talking back and forth. And he was telling him, I guess, whatever they were getting ready to run, Sean Payton didn't like it because he called a timeout on third down.
Yep.
That's what I want to see with this team. Somebody got to step up. And as the leader, Raheem Morris, I'm looking squarely at him. When we lost that Super Bowl, yes, I was mad with Kyle Shanahan, but I was more upset with Dan Quinn because it was his job. Just like Pete Carroll not running the ball on a 1 yard line with beast mode. He had to eat that one. Same thing with Raheem Morris. He got to step up, and if he don't step up, somebody on this team will have to step up and tell him, look, it ain't working. Because the guys that's under him, as Mike was talking about, they may be scared to step up and say, look, we need to adjust. He might fire them off his staff. He might fire them. But he can't get rid of Grady. He can't get rid of these guys on his staff that's already under contract. He can't do nothing to Jesse Bates. All that Jesse Bates done, they can't do nothing. Jesse Bates can all out cuss him out. He can't do nothing at this point.
No.
You ain't got no pull with the players here.
Exactly. And Jesse Bates did enough as far as the plays he done made, just being in the line of the last 2 years. He should have full range to say whatever he need to get out the vent. Whatever he needs to tell the coaching staff and these players, he should have full range to say whatever he need to say.
Oh Lord, William Paul talking about he ran from the press conference real quick. Oh Lord, I don't need to hear that.
That's all I got, K Styles. Like I said, before I get too fired up, it is what it is. We seen this last year. I told you guys last year when they benched Desmond Ritter. What I tell you guys, that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. I told y'all that last year. I said Arthur Smith out of here. I told y'all that after that, it's the same thing with Raheem Morris. I don't think that he's out of here, but we better see some adjustments in the second half of the season after this bye week, or this division is gonna get tighter than people think it is. Because these other teams are not that far behind us. Now that we dropping games, the Saints are 4-6, I think.
4-6.
Yeah, the Bucks are still playing hard, even though they lost players. The difference between the Bucks and our team right now, the Bucks are well coached. Look at the Bucks team; they done lost two of they best players. Basically, they lost Evans and Godwin, and they literally played us down to the wire, and they played the Chiefs down to the wire. Should have beat the Chiefs. The difference is coaching. That's the difference. You give this team the coaching staff over there with the Bucks, we would be winning these games. I'm just being honest. With better coaching, these games that we're losing, we would have won. This team should easily have won at least 7 to 8 games by now, based off of our schedule and based off of the weapons that we have on this offense and on this defense. We're not using the defensive players and using them in a proper manner, and that's the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing. So he making this team look a lot worse than it is. As Mike said, it ain't a lack of talent. It's a lack of coaching and making the proper adjustments.
This fucking cow, my bad, but this coward is going to sit up here and say, and see, this is such a sucker move. This dude said that some of the screens may have got them or got them out away from blitzing, and that's such a fucking lie. That is such a lie. For him to sit up here and say some of the early blitzes. All right, hold on. Here it goes. He pretty much stated that their early blitzes may have made them a little bit more apprehensive from blitzing. So that's his excuse for not blitzing. And I just tell you, look, I don't believe nothing Raheem says anymore. Look, he's a liar as far as I'm concerned. He's nothing but a liar. Raheem is a liar. Nothing he's saying is making any sense because it's not true. How many times have we seen Todd Bowles blitz, regardless of what the situation is? It could be 3rd and 23, and this dude's gonna blitz. It could be 3rd and 1, and he gonna blitz. This dude don't care. To sit up here and say that because they threw screen that stopped you, now every team in the universe is gonna do that. You're a liar. What he doing? He really think the fans are stupid, and he can just say anything and people gonna believe that bull crap. And that right there really pisses me off. Because now you're just making up stuff because you don't want it. At the end of the day, just say you just want to be soft. Okay? You want to be pushed around. Because if somebody is really calling certain plays to get you from blitzing, that says more about you as a coach than it says about them. Because if I'm Shaquille O'Neal, you think Shaquille O'Neal gave a damn about them hacker-shacking? No, Shaq is still gonna be Shaq. No matter how much you keep pushing him around, he gonna be Shaq. He gonna do Shaq things. No matter what you do to a Todd Bowles gonna blitz. Raheem is a liar, and I don't believe anything he said. He just doesn't want to. He want to play soft. He want to play this soft off coverage and get interceptions. He don't want to get sacks. He don't want to be tough. And that's just the facts.
So I'm about to say, I ain't really got nothing else to say on this, man. So I believe we gonna let y'all have the rest of y'all nights. What if the coach gonna be coming on giving the part 2 of this? Like you said, man. Unfortunately, the Falcons came up with an L. So we gotta eat on. We gotta sit on this and eat it for another week. And hopefully, well, I ain't gonna say hopefully, they better make the adjustments because the thing about it is the difference between Raheem Morris's first year and Arthur Smith's first year. Arthur Smith took a team that nobody thought was any good. Raheem Morris took over.
This man said, sorry, K-Stab. He said some of the early screens might have gotten the Falcons away from blitzing, and that back there was a direct quote. That right there is disgusting, and it's a lie, and I don't believe anything he said. So, like I said, with that being said, look, it's screw Raheem. I don't believe nothing he says from this point on. Until I see it, I don't believe nothing he's saying. He's a liar.
Mm-hmm. So this is the biggest difference as to why people are going to be looking at Raheem Morris a little bit differently than what they did with Arthur Smith. Raheem Morris took over a team that was expected to do something. You made the moves that you was expecting this to be a playoff team. Arthur Smith took over this team. This team was a shit show. So Raheem, Jimmy Lake, Zach Robinson, y'all know what y'all got to do. Because the one thing you don't want to do is you do not want to lose this fan base. Because and Raheem should know this. You'll lose this fan base real quick. So y'all know what y'all gotta do. And I'm gonna just leave it at that, man. So we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in to this post game reaction show. I'm your boy 6 and K, Utah Sports, Mad Mike Sports. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe over to the Heavy Hitters Live. And we'll give you your evenings back. So till next time, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Ooh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you gotta get the heck out of here.
We don't want to hear no excuses. You got the bye week to get it right. Get it right.
Motherfuckers playing 20 yards off the damn ball in the 3rd and 1. What the
Talking about because they run and screen. That's why you don't want to blitz. That's such a weak. That's such a lie. You just don't want to blitz.
That's not just. I'm gonna need to go get some medicine, man. Y'all just made my cold get even worse. Just some bitches.